Right, guys, here we go. It's episode 4 of the People's Portfolio. Now, before we get stuck into it, guys, suggestions in the comment section below for next week's nominations for the People's Portfolio. If we can put a theme on this, it's strikers, listed as strikers on the index only, because we're getting a bit of a cluster of defenders and midfielders. We've not really had much strikers to go over. So if you can add them in as the theme for episode 5, that'll be. Let's get stuck in now to episode 4. And the first one comes from Ian. Ian's been on the channel for a long while with great contributions, and he wants to nominate Pavel Kaderbeck. Listed as a defender, wing back, he's got a good goal and assist record, and you can see all that stuff there, Euros and blah blah blah. So Kaderbeck is 27. Oh, there's a goal for Celtic. Let's hope it's Edward. As you can see with his stats over the season, you know, considering his age and him being in a kind of underperforming Hoffenheim team after losing Nagelsmann, his stats are solid enough for the price that you're going to find him at. That kind of sub 50p level, passing's good. There's not much really to go over with him in terms of what he offers you as a potential hold. He's sub 50p, he's going to the Euros, he's an attacking wing back, and Hoffenheim, he's been there for a while and he does contribute well to, like Ian said, goals and assist records. Over the last 3 seasons have improved season on season, and you can see this year alone, you know, he's well set to go and exceed, you know, his previous benchmarks that he set for himself. In terms of form, his form's okay at the moment, you know, above the 7s. We've got a wee assist there against Leverkusen, which is nice. But when you're buying a listed defender on Football Index, you're really hoping to grab you a goal in that first 30-day window, get 2p and IPDs, especially for somebody like Kaderbeck, who's sub 50p. If you get a 2p dividend out of him, a goal, you're instantly in profit, even if his price was to stagnate. The result of him scoring a goal would push his price, that's almost a certainty. But even getting an assist, that 1p dividend, when he's sub 50p, that basically just breaks you even on your commission with Football Index. So he's in a really nice position. He's got enough going for him. He's definitely sub-prime. There's no European football for Hoffenheim at the moment. But yeah, great choice. The next one comes from Lucky Tux, and it's Joaquin Correa at Lazio. Now, I like Correa a lot. I've seen him a couple of times last season. He's not featured too heavily. We'll get into his stats and that in a moment. He's on a bit of a dip now over the last 6 months. You know, he's been quite rocky up and down. As Lucky Tuck said, he is injured at the moment. But this guy, he's listed as a midfielder, but when he does play, he's very much, look at that attacking stats. He's a dribbler. He takes shots. Defending. It's quite good for... so anyway, my point is, even though he's listed as a midfielder, whenever I've seen Lazio play and whenever I've really paid attention to Joaquin Correa, he's a striker, as far as I'm concerned, you know. So having somebody listed as a midfielder who's going to be in the top third of the pitch to score goals and create chances, it's not... it gives you something else for PB. You know, the most common PB winners in midfield are the pass merchants. You know, the Pjanić's of this world, and you know those kind of tiki-taka midfielders, the pass makers, you know. But there's definitely room for PB wins for the goal-scoring midfield, you know, kind of talisman. And this guy definitely ticks those boxes. Lazio are going really strong this season. And as you can see, Joaquin Correa, you know, when he is playing, you know, he's getting about a goal in every 3 matches, which is lovely. Last season, the main thing I remember, he scored in the cup final for Lazio. They won the Coppa Italia last season. And his goal, I think maybe he might have even scored 2, but we have maybe if we scroll back far enough, we might see it. Coppa Italia semi-final, final. Yeah, he scored 1. And it was a lovely goal, real good pace, real clinical finish, and that's when I kind of thought last year, so that guy's onto something, you know, he could be really good. Started the season hot, and yeah, he's just injured at the moment. So when you find an injured player like this, who is sub-prime, Lazio are not in Europe. They are, and he's Argentinian, so he's not got the Euros or anything this summer. But when you see where Lazio are, they're going to, it's almost certainly looking they're going to be in the Champions League next year. And this guy, if he wasn't to move in the summer, you can definitely see him being a big part of Lazio for the next 12 to 18 months, definitely. So the price he's at the now of £1.1 is in a great position as well. The next one comes from Ian Mountford, and he's saying Benacer at Milan, as soon as he gets a goal, he will fly. Now, Benacer, after winning the AFCON in the summer with Algeria, he's definitely been a hold that's kind of been bubbling under the surface. You know, he had a lot of promise, a lot of market sentiment going in his favour. And yeah, I think Ian is spot on here that this guy just needs 1 PB win or a goal or something, and he is really going to shoot up. Milan have started to get a good bit of form going recently, and this guy's played a lot. Attacking stats there, as you can see, they're all very leaned towards dribbles and that kind of thing. In terms of defending, winning tackles and interceptions, ball recoveries and distribution is a nice size, but it's all towards, passes and accurate long balls and key passes, which is what you want in that kind of bubbling under the surface midfielder. Milan at the moment, if we look at the form table, they're definitely, in amongst the top form teams in the league. I'm quite surprised that doesn't actually automatically change that on form. But if we head into Milan and then we'll have a look at the squad and we see our boy here, Benacer, we'll see that he has featured a considerable amount this season. Where the heck is he? Am I going blind? He's listed as a forward here for some reason. That's crazy. But yeah, as I see, 17 games, and his stats are all, 7.1, 7.2, 7.2, 7.3. And I think, as I say, this guy just needs to get an assist or a goal or two on the board, and you'll see his price really, really flying away. There's a lot of, as I mentioned before, winning the AFCON and that Algeria team, there's a lot of players that are well thought of. And this guy last season at Empoli did very, very well. He's a former Arsenal player, of course. He's got that pedigree about him. And he's just waiting for a win to come. And at £1 and 1 pence as well, the exact same as Correa. He could really double in price over a year quite easily. And Samba Rai, the legend that gave us Toma Basic, has put forward Jonas Hoffmann this week. Now playing an advanced role on set pieces and a good run of fixtures. Now, he is listed as a midfielder. He's 27, 88 pence, and he's been quite a rocky hold. He's on a little bit more of an up. You could have caught him a little bit cheaper before we had this recent injection of money into the market. And his stats over the season so far, attacking, there's nothing really there. Defending, if he's been a bit deeper previously in the season, that'll be why that's higher. Distribution's okay, I suppose. But Gladbach, they're out of Europe now. They're doing very well in the league. He's got a couple of goals and a wee assist there. He's listed here as being a midfielder. He's on a nice little bit of form at the moment, which will be what's led to the price bump up recently. But as we can see with Gladbach, upcoming matches, Hoffenheim will be an opening counter. Augsburg, Dortmund, Cologne, Frankfurt, Leipzig, Leverkusen. I don't know if this is an attractive fixture list, but it's definitely open. There's not too many defensive teams there, or teams that will definitely be blowing them out the water. And because of the position in the table Gladbach are sitting in, they'll be hopeful they can get points across those fixtures, definitely. And with our boy Hoffmann, just to dive back into him, his stats are good enough in terms of key passes and chances created, that kind of thing. Playing positions are pretty much straight down the middle, so I suppose he must be playing much more as a number. The last 2 games he's played in the whole number 10, he's got 2 goals against Leipzig and was it Frankfurt or something. So yeah, if he continues to play in that position rather than CDM, then his price of 88 pence will quickly disappear. He's not a German international as it stands now. He's only had under 21 caps, is best I can tell from this. So yeah, he's sub-prime at the moment also. The next nomination comes from Chris M. Otavio Santos, Bordeaux midfielder, been decent since Christmas and had a good game at the weekend. 25-year-old Brazilian midfielder, trading at 63 pence. He has been steadily increasing throughout the season. And when you see his attacking stats, considering Bordeaux's season has progressively improved, they're getting into some good form at the moment. Very defensive-minded midfielder. Some of these stats are really impressive here. Distribution is nice and strong as well. Just a very low attacking output, which is always going to hinder a midfielder like this when you are trading them on PBs and that kind of thing. IPDs, until the potential for a transfer arises. Over the season, but he has got 2 goals and bagged 3 assists. His average rating is credible enough, and when Chris dropped the comment, he'd had his assists against Metz and put a 7.7 rating in, alongside Toma Basic, who we also hold in the People's portfolio. This looks to be a nice little midfield combination for Bordeaux. And his stats overall, so you see, as more defensively minded, the key passes and chances created are quite low. But then when you see things like interceptions and clearances, they're massive. So this guy's definitely a CDM type. So at 63 pence, it definitely has some room for growth in him in terms of profit, but how much that will be and when that will be, it's really hard to determine, just because of how subprime he is. No Euros in the summer, no European competition, etc, etc. And then Oscar's dropped his Ferland Mendy. Now, Ferland Mendy actually featured in season 1 of the People's portfolio. And if memory serves me right, I think we picked him up before that big spike somewhere. I think we picked him up round about this level here, yeah, like the 90s, 93 pence or something like that. He went a little bit backwards and we gave up on him, and then he popped and he went on. Now, he's had a great season so far at Real Madrid at left back, and as much as he's not been an out-and-out regular, he's definitely getting bled into the team, and he's, you know, raising his standards from coming from Leon. And his stats have been quite credible. He's only got 1 assist to show for the efforts he's been putting in, but Real Madrid's form has climbed over as the season's progressed, and this guy's definitely been featuring more and more in those kind of key league matches, as you can see here. But yeah, the kind of winter break and the Super Cup abroad kind of stifles any momentum they've kind of gathered there. But as you can see, he's playing in he's playing regular enough. This is definitely a PB hold. He's not going to be transferring at Real Madrid anytime soon. He's, I'd say, quite likely to get in the France squad for the Euros as well. Whether he starts for France or not is another matter. There's quite a lot of competition at left back. But the price he's at the now, 123, and when you see the stats he puts on per game, attacking is very good for a left back. Or not very good, but it's where you'd expect it to be. It's in nice shape. Defending stats are good enough. Distribution are nice and strong as well. Real Madrid are always a possession. You know, they're going to have more possession of the ball than the opposition because they're a better team than most of their opponents they'll face. And at 123, still get scope for movement. If you see guys like Tierney at 160, 170, these kind of fullbacks that aren't like your Kimmiches and Trents and whatever, they're definitely worth more than this kind of lower to mid £1 level. They're definitely quite, and even Zinchenko's at 167, you know, so these guys can definitely, as long as they do win PB, which he is yet to do. I think he had a good game early in the season. He might have won a single match day or something, but you're really waiting for that to show itself a bit stronger, and you'll see his price kind of reach up to that kind of level, I would imagine, quite easily. And the next one comes from OG, James Forrest at Celtic, 10 goals and 12 assists this season. Potential for the Euros, currently 32p. Now, I like wee Jimmy a lot, and yeah, okay, so if you buy a non-PB player, a non-PB league player who is in the Europa League on the 19th of February, today is the 16th, so I think it's Wednesday or something like that. On the 19th of February, you'll get them eligible for 4 Europa League ties should they progress through the round they're currently in. Would I buy Forrest for that at 32 pence? If he scores a goal and makes an assist against Copenhagen over both legs, he will be very much more than 32 pence, maybe 40, 50 pence, which percentage wise is quite massive. But for me, there is better options at Celtic that will cost you a few pence more. So I'm not going to go into Forrest's stats and all that too much, but well, it even shows. So this is in the Europa League this season. You know, he's had a great year. He's really good. It's just he's just signed a massive contract. He's 28. I just don't see him moving on. But there's percentage gains to be gotten here, even with 1 goal. There's a profit margin in that if you stack enough of it up. And at 32 pence, and if Scotland do qualify for the Euros as well, then yeah, it could become it's a nice window to potentially buy somebody like this. Now, me and Colin have had a wee conversation here. I'll let you read it yourself, okay? But Colin ranking his nomination this week is Otavio for Porto. And yeah, he's a 24-year-old midfielder. His price has been solid. You know, there's not much money kind of flowing in and out of him. He's not very liquid. So he's one of these holds that once you're on him. You need to really kind of wait and go for it. Colin was saying there he's been linked to Premier League with Newcastle. That's always good to see come the summer as well. Defensive stats were massive. Distribution is really good as well. These are only based on Europa League PB points he's gathered. But at 45 pence, again, just like I said with Forrest, if you buy on the 19th, you've got a great window of opportunity with some of these non-PB League, Europa League holds. Porto's draw, but is away to Leverkusen. So are they getting past Leverkusen? It's not as safe a bet as Celtic getting by Copenhagen, for example. Sevilla getting past Cluj. Alkmaar getting past Laski Linz. And Ludogorets. There's better ties here, I would say. But, like Colin says, if you want to hang on him a bit longer and try and get that transfer in the summer, it's definitely there to be gotten. And you can see the examples he's used here for Corona and Tellez, that, you know, Porto players will get rises off the back of loose speculation because Porto are a selling club. And then the final one for episode 4 is 1HJBV1, again with a great contribution, dropping as Roberto Firmino. Now, at £2 odds, this guy is almost as good as it gets. Attacking output, you can see the size of that graph, is incredibly big. Defending, even for a forward, and we all know what Firmino offers the squad, I'm not going to tell you things you know already. It's credible. Distribution is lovely as well. Faults are minimal, and the team fucking win every game, don't they? I would say Firmino's a great hold if you just want to back Liverpool for the rest of the season, because he's the least rotated out of the three, if that makes sense. Like, he is, and we all know, I'm not going to tell you stuff you hear and read all the time about Firmino. We all know what he offers and what he's all about. But look at that. 3 assists against Southampton the other day. Or the other week, I should say at this point. But the guy's a solid holding at £2. If he is going to transfer out of Liverpool, it's going to be a massive transfer. And I don't see it happening, of course, but even the speculation will win you some dividends, because it would be a big one. And I say, yeah, if you just want to back Liverpool this season at £2, Roberto Firmino is good value for potential forward wins, because he does offer something a lot of forwards don't, in terms of the passing and the tackling and tracking back and that kind of thing. And when you compare him to Mane and Salah, who, yeah, are more attractive for obvious reasons, Trent, and there's a few other ones in that Liverpool team that are more expensive than him, Van Dijk, he's a great hold if you just want to back Liverpool for the rest of the season. Now, guys, I made the purchase for the portfolio on Friday night, and I bought another one of them today, and we've went for Pavel Kaderbeck, just because, quite simply, he's very underpriced, very attacking fullback. He only needs to get a goal, really in the next month or so, and he's got the Euros, and playing against England puts a bit of spotlight on him. And all you need is somebody like a Newcastle or a West Ham or a Brighton or, whoever to want him and go after him. And the age he's at, he's definitely at that stage where moving to a mid-tier Premier League team, he'll probably jump at the chance. So that's who we've went for. As it stands now, guys, Suso might actually be on track for winning best midfielder today. He was earlier before I started recording. And yeah, he's still right up there. So we cross our fingers and toes the People's Portfolio gets its first win today. Mukiele was quite close to best defender yesterday. We got a goal dividend off of him. Toma Basic got us another IPD, which is lovely. And yeah, the People's Portfolio is ticking along nicely, guys. Episode 5 is going to be next week. Drop your suggestions in the comment section below. And the theme for next week's episode is strikers forwards, okay? Thanks a lot for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, retweet, all that good stuff, guys. Stay out of trouble, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.